kitchen, and today we're going to do drop scones. Now you may have heard of drop scones as Scotch pancakes. They're exactly the same. They are a mixture that's very slightly risen, and the reason it's called drop scones is because you drop the mixture into the pan. So it's so simple to cook. Okay, your basic pancake ingredients, and I have some other videos on pancakes, so please have a look at my American pancakes, and I think I've got a sweet and savoury one. So you need milk, you need self-raising flour because that's a little bit of extra raising agent. You need a tiny bit of sugar, an egg, some baking powder, again, because that's what's going to give the rise. And then I'm going to zest in a little bit of orange for flavour. Okay, now I know you guys know how to sieve, and really you could skip out this stage, but I'm just going to remind you how to sieve. And my flour's a little bit moist, so I've noticed that when I've been cooking recently, it's been a little bit lumpy. So remember to put your hand and then bash your sieve into your hand to sieve all your ingredients. And you can see all the lumps, I can just run them through. There we are. Okay, so that's my sieve. Now I'm going to add my raising agent, so baking powder. So 1 teaspoon. It's so simple to make this. It makes you realise that we shouldn't be buying things, we should be making them. Right, sugar, in it goes. And then I'm going to mix this round with my whisk. I'm going to make a well in the middle, the fancy name for a hole in the middle. I'm going to crack in my egg. There we are, and I'm going to pour in my milk. I haven't poured it all in, and I'm going to use my whisk to just gradually move the mixture around so that it becomes all combined and we'll have a nice batter. I'm being careful so that the flour doesn't go poof. Can you see it's getting thicker? So I'm going to add some more. There we are. Oops, getting a bit carried away. Right, and now I'm going to whisk this with my strong muscles so that there are no lumps in the mixture, okay? And by doing this, you're also adding air to the mixture. So you're creating rise through your whisking. So I've got a lovely, smooth batter, okay? And now on to the flavourings. Right, I'm going to zest my orange. You could use lemon, or you could just do plain ones and put a tiny bit of vanilla in, but I really like the orange. I think it's really nice. Now this is called a zester. So this bit here, you use that to drag through the orange and you get these little lines. When you get down to the pith, that's what's bitter. So then you do the next line. So you're just trying to take the skin off the orange, like that. If you don't have a zester at home, you can use your grater. Now I know that there are all these strange things. This one I always use for cheese because it's really nice and big. This one I tend to use for parmesan. Now there's this side here. Now you're supposed to grate nutmeg and things on this, and to be honest I think it's completely pointless. Everything gets stuck and it's really difficult. So I would use your fine grater, and at school that's the grater that we would use. So you can literally grate down and turn it around. Now to get this mixture into my frying pan to cook, it's a bit hard. So I think as we've got the jug out where we've put the milk, it's much easier to then put all your mixture into your jug. So I'm just going to use my spatula and just scrape it all in so we get all the mixture. And of course, because it's a jug, it's much easier to pour. Now, in an ideal world, I'll leave this mixture. If I was at home, I would leave this mixture for 5 or 6 minutes just to help the air bubbles. At school, we might have to just push on through. But at home, I would leave this mixture just for a little bit because it helps the air bubbles and the carbon dioxide start to activate. And then the second process will be when we start to cook it, and you'll see that in a minute. So I put a tiny bit of oil into the frying pan, and I put a tiny knob of butter, just like when you're cooking pancakes The butter is to stop it sticking and the oil is to stop the butter from burning. So I'm just going to make sure that that's all nicely melted. I've got it on a medium heat, so, well, slightly high heat, number 5, and I'm just going to see how that goes. As the pan heats up and it retains the heat, then I might have to turn down my heat so that my pancakes don't burn. Okay, now I'm going to pour in my mixture. You can see how lovely and thick it is. And I'm going to leave big spaces around the mixture. So you want to try and get them all around the same size. Maybe the size of a Pringles lid. Ooh. And then we're going to wait for the pancakes to cook and you will start seeing bubbles on the top. This is the carbon dioxide from the baking powder and the self-raising flour. And when you start seeing the big bubbles, and already you can see some, then you know that the pancake mixture is ready to turn. The mixture is going to cook from the bottom of the frying pan up. So if we turn it and it's too soon, it will be too liquidy. Now the other thing I'm using, because I'm using a non-stick saucepan, it's really important that you use a plastic spatula and not a metal one, because you don't want anything to scratch the non-stick coating and then eventually that will start to rust. So you can see that the bubbles will start forming. I think another minute and then we'll be able to turn it. Right, these have been cooking for about 2 minutes. Can you see that you've already got some of these big holes? And can you see how well it's fluffed up? Now the question is it ready to turn? How do you know? Well, I can see at the side here that it's becoming solid down here. And if you're not sure, you can just flip one or you can just lift it up a little bit and see what the colour's like. I think it's ready. Look at that. And look how it puffs up. So that's your proper drop scones. Really simple to make. Now, they look very similar to American pancakes. And American pancakes are just full of sugar, but a very similar concept. But they've got triple the amount of sugar in them. So these are a much healthier alternative. And they're really nice if you put some lemon and raisins in. Now, they take a little bit less time on this side to cook. And again, if you're not sure, you can just carefully lift it up and you can just have a peer and have a look. See? That looks brilliant, okay? Now I'm going to move that onto my plate and then I can cook the rest of the mixture. Right, already you can see that these are risen up. So this is my second batch and I've turned the stove down now to number 4 because it's already getting really hot because the pan is retaining the heat. Now I'm going to flip this over and you can see it just pumps up. I love making these. Okay, I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to be really careful that I don't use my fingers because it's hot. The mixture is hot. Look at that, they look great. Okay, 1 more minute and they will be ready. Can you see here this mixture isn't quite cooked, so we'll wait a little bit longer for that to cook. Right, to up your skill and so that you don't waste your orange and great for your serving, I'm going to take the top and the bottom off the orange with a nice sharp knife and I'm going to cut round and remove all the skin of the orange, okay? So this is to segment it. Now I can see here I've missed a bit, so I'm going to go down. Okay, and then as you go round, once you've done it once, it's really easy to see. So you're trying not to take all the orange away, but you're trying to remove the skin. So we'll go round until it's completed. Right, so my orange has had all the skin removed. Now, can you see these pale lines here between the orange segments? What I'm going to do is put my knife on one side of that and cut down, and then on the other side, okay, very gently to cut down to pull out the orange segment. And then I'm going to put my knife the other side of that white line. So I'm leaving all the skin of the orange behind and I'm just taking the orange segments, okay? So I'll show you one more time. So there's the white line. I'm going to put my knife this side of it and cut down and then to the right side of the line on the other side. And there we are. I'll keep going until I've got all the segments of orange out. Right, serving the pancakes. So I'm going to put these onto my plate. Okay, and then I can use my orange segments, put those on, and I can have a nice dollop of Greek yogurt. So I always keep Greek yogurt in because I can use it instead of mayonnaise. And then if you want to be really naughty, a little bit of honey, drizzle of honey, or this is a little bit of maple syrup. Look at that, you can't say that that's not fantastic breakfast. Now the other thing to do is to have them cold and spread them with a little bit of butter, and you can also then put them in the freezer and they'd be brilliant for packed lunches for a snack during the day. So I hope you enjoy your drop scones.